Hey, what's up? In this video, I'm going to be covering how you can customize your Shopify store. We'll cover everything about theme customization, from picking and installing a theme, setting up your branding, to customizing individual pages and your navigation. Whether you're just starting out or looking to make your store stand out, this tutorial will show you exactly how to build a store that not only looks unique, but is optimized to convert visitors into customers. Let's dive straight in. I'm Blake Yeboah, founder of Futuremerce, where we help Shopify brands with design and development services. And firstly, we're going to head over to the Shopify theme store and select a theme. So firstly, you're going to want to head on over to your Shopify dashboard. On the left-hand sidebar, you're going to want to click Online Store, and that should take you to the themes part of your online store. Here's where you can see all the themes currently installed on your store. To install a new theme, you can click on Import Theme in the top right and then click on Visit Theme Store. This will take you to the Shopify theme store, which is where you can get free and paid themes. If you click on View All, you can filter by free or paid based on your industry, catalog size, or even specific features that you might be looking for. Free themes are a solid starting point. If you're on a budget, they're lightweight and easy to work with. But premium themes usually give you more flexibility, more layouts, and built-in features that can save you from needing extra apps. Based on your circumstance, you can decide whether you want to go free or paid. Once you've decided on a theme that you're interested in, you can simply click on it, and that will open up the theme's individual page, which will tell you more about the theme and the specific features that are included. You can also read the reviews to see how other store owners feel about that theme. And to actually see it in action, you can click on View Demo. And then you can actually use the theme and see how it feels, see what different pages look like, and whether that suits your brand and what you're looking for. Once you found a theme that you like, you're going to want to click Try Theme. What that will do is add that theme to your online store themes. You should then get navigated back to your online store where you can see the theme you just added and it's currently loaded. Once it's loaded, you should see this message saying you successfully added then your theme name. You can then navigate to your theme and click on Customize or click on Customize Theme up here. This will bring up the theme editor, which is where you make any kind of change directly to your theme. But before diving into all of this, we're firstly going to talk about your branding, which you can control through theme settings. And in your theme settings, these are basically settings that will affect your entire site across different pages. Things like your logo and favicon. If you don't know what a favicon is, it's the little icon beside the title of your website that will show. So you generally want that to be your logo. You can also adjust your color scheme. You can also adjust your fonts. The exact options you'll see here will vary theme to theme. A quick tip to do with your branding is to keep it consistent. The fonts and colors you choose here should match your packaging, your social media, and even your ads. That way your store feels cohesive and trustworthy. Now heading back to sections, here's where you directly edit the various sections of your store. So on the left-hand side, you can see all the sections for this specific page template. To see different page templates, you can use this selector up here. It's currently on the home page, but you have your product page templates, your collection page, and other things like your cart and other pages where you can create as many templates as you need to. To change something about a specific section, say for example this hero, you're going to want to click on that section, and then on the right hand side you can see all the settings to do with that specific section. So in this case we can add an image or change that to a video. We can also add a link to this section and adjust the behavior around that, as well as change the layout. And these settings that you see on the right hand side will be different for each section that you click on, as well as in each different theme. And if you're not happy with the current sections you have, you can delete some. For example, you might want to delete this product highlight. You can also add new sections by clicking on Add Section, and that will show all the sections that are available in your theme you've chosen. If you hover on each one, you can see a little preview before you click on Add. For example, if you want to add FAQs, you can click on FAQ. Once that's loaded, you'll see that it adds this FAQ section. You can move it higher up the page simply by dragging it and dropping it. To adjust the various FAQs, you can see we have these accordion rows. And then within those, on the right-hand side, you can see we can adjust the text. And then there's also the text within that, which will be the answer to the FAQ that we can adjust as well. That's generally how all your sections and blocks will work across all different themes. That makes it really easy for you to customize your store without needing to touch any code or any custom development. Another important thing to understand about this theme customer is how these different parts of the template work. So for sections that you have in the footer area and in the header area, they will stay the same for all different pages on your store. So for example, if we add a section here, say we add an announcement bar, if we then save that and then head to a different template, you can see that announcement bar still shows in the header here. Even though we made the change while selected on the home page, changes made in the header and footer will affect all your different pages. But as you can see, this template part now shows product specific stuff now that we're on a product template. So in terms of customizing your home page, you generally don't want to overwhelm your users with a bunch at once, but you do want to give them a good overall idea of what your store is and who your products are made for. A good way to do this is with a nice clear hero with a high quality background image and some clear text. You're also going to want to have a featured products or collection section where you're going to want to showcase your best sellers or a curated collection that you've picked. You're also going to want to add either some benefits or some trust badges that will make people trust your brand more and more likely to continue on their journey and potentially buy a product. And lastly, in your footer, you're going to want to have all these different links, which I'll show you how to change those in just a second. You're also going to add your social icons, which I'll show you how to adjust those. Depending on your theme, you'll either see them directly here or need to go through settings. And you're also going to want to have your policies, which we don't have set up just yet, but once you have those set up, you're going to want to add them usually at the bottom. This just makes your store appear trustworthy and make people more likely to purchase from you. While using this customizer, you can also use this bar in the top right to change between the different devices. So we're currently on desktop. You can click on mobile and you can see what your store looks like on mobile. Generally, most of your store traffic is going to be on mobile, so you definitely want to make sure you're checking your mobile device and making sure everything looks good here. Moving on, let's talk about your product pages. So by default, you're going to have a default product template, and that will be assigned to all the products in your store unless you've changed it. What you could do is create a new template, and then you can give that template a name, say sample product, and then click create template. And the way templates work is basically you can change whatever you have here. You can add new sections, change colors, things like that, and then assign that to a specific product. So if you have different sorts of products, you're definitely going to want to add more specific sections to actually explain the product better. And that will be different depending on the product. So you may want to create different templates so you can do that. So once you've created a template like the sample product, you can see it's currently assigned to 0 products, but you can change how you preview it. So before you've actually assigned it anywhere, you can preview it on whatever product you're planning on using it on. For example, this snowboard. And then in the product area of your Shopify dashboard, you can select a template and select sample product. Now, in terms of your product page layout, generally, you're going to want to follow these tips. Your product images should be front and center. Keep the add to cart button clearly visible, ideally above the fold. Include reviews or social proof. Add shipping, returns, or guarantee info right under the button is a great spot. For instance, in this theme, you generally want to add another accordion here, which you can do by clicking on the plus and selecting accordion row, and it actually defaulted straight to when will I get my order. But generally having these sorts of things above the fold will make customers much more likely to purchase, as they don't have to go searching for information that they need before they can purchase. And the template editor works basically the same way no matter what page you're on. You can add sections on the left-hand side, and clicking on specific sections will let you edit them on the right-hand side. Moving on, you also have your collection templates, which basically work the same way as your product ones, but will just have different content, of course. As you can see, we have this collection, we have filtering and sorting here. On the right-hand side, you can see all the different options, things like your spacing, your direction, the width. These will of course be different depending on your setup, what theme you're using, and if you have any apps installed that may affect this functionality as well. You can also customize the individual product cards. You can change the vertical gap. You can change the style. You can make them solid. And as you can see, that gives it this border around each of the cards. With most of the free themes that include filters, your functionality around those will generally be quite basic. You may have to install an additional app to get that complex filtering and sorting functionality that you might need. Whether that's worth it for your store will depend on your specific circumstances. If you've got a lot of products and you notice that people find it hard to find what they want to buy, you're generally going to want to make sure you have clear filters and make it really easy for your customers to find what they're looking for. Once you're done making all the sorts of changes that you want to make to your store, you're going to want to hit save in the top right. That will then save your theme. And if you use the top left to exit, you then click on the 3 dots beside your theme and you should see this preview. And what that will do is open up a new tab with your store open, and you'll be previewing into that new theme that you've just downloaded. And this way you can view how your theme actually looks in a live environment. So you can check it out on your computer. If you hit this copy preview link, you can also send it to your phone and view it on your phone to make sure that the changes you made look good on that device as well. And when you're happy with all your changes, you're then going to want to publish your theme, which you can simply do by clicking publish. This will give you a little warning about replacing. And in this case, because this store is quite old, it will tell me that I'm going to upgrade, so that's fine. You then click publish. Once that's published, you can then click view your store. And as you can see, it shows the new version right away. It's very important when you're making those kind of changes that you use a draft theme, not your currently live theme. That way you can test things out before it actually impacts your customers, as you don't want to publish an issue that's possibly preventing people from checking out or not being able to add to cart on your live site, especially if you have a lot of traffic coming through. And the next part we'll talk about is your navigation menu, which you can adjust by heading over to content and then menus. And in here, you'll generally have a few different menus by default: your main menu, footer menu, and customer account menu. So your main menu is the menu that shows at the top of the page. As for what links you want to include here, you generally don't want to include too many, as you don't want to overwhelm the users with options. You want to make it really easy for them to find what they're looking for. You can add new menu items by clicking add menu item. Then you can give it a name, for example, about us. And then you can either click on a page or you can paste a link, or you can just type the path of the page if you know the page. For example, if it was /about us, it would be that, and then you click that. Then once you're happy with that, you just want to click that check mark. If you want to delete a link, you can click on the delete icon. It'll pop up with this little warning and you can click remove. When you're done editing that, you can click save. It's important to note any changes you make here will be directly reflected in your live site. So just be aware of that before you save things. In this menu part, you can also control URL redirects. You can also create additional menus. So for example, if you had a sidebar, you could create a sidebar menu, and it works the same way in terms of how you add menu items. And if you're a bit more tech heavy and you want to dive deeper into the code of your store and making changes, what you can do is click on the 3 dots and click edit code. This will bring up the code editor, which looks a lot like Visual Studio Code if you've used that before. And in here, you can see all the different parts of your theme. So your sections, which are the sections that show when you customize. On the left, each of these sections will have a file in the sections folder. Then these sections will sometimes make references to assets, things like your JavaScript, your CSS, or icons and stuff like that. And you also have your snippets, which can be other liquid sections, which can be referenced by the different sections. So to make changes here, you can simply open up a file. That will bring up all the code. If you're not experienced with Liquid or any type of coding, I generally don't recommend making changes this way, as it can be very easy to accidentally break your theme. If you are making changes, I recommend creating a backup theme. That way, if you do break something, you can always publish the other one and then go back in and try to fix it. You also have your templates. So these are your different pages. So for example, your page is just your main page. Your index is your home page. So you can see how here has that hero and the collections links and the different sections that we saw before. This is basically how they're stored under the hood in the code. And as you can see by this warning up here, this file is auto-generated. So if you make a change here, You generally don't want to do that because all these settings are controlled through the customizer, so you can make the change through the customizer directly. And you also have your other templates like your product one or the sample product that we created. But again, if you're not tech heavy and you're not experienced with code, I generally don't recommend making any type of changes this way. So that basically wraps up how you can customize your theme. This is just one of those things where you're generally going to want to install your theme. You can do so on a test development store if you don't want to affect your actual store, or just create a duplicate theme that's not live and edit that one. And you can go in, play around, make your different changes. That way you can play around with how things work, adjust the different elements, and get a good feel for how things are done the Shopify way. So we've covered everything from picking the right theme, customizing your individual pages, updating your navigation, and even adding some advanced features. If this video helped you, hit like and subscribe for more Shopify tutorials. And if you'd like professional help customizing your store so you can focus on growing on your business instead of messing around with your theme, check out Futuremerce. We work with Shopify brands every day to design and develop stores that actually convert. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.